Chainsaw Man Chapter 218 is officially here, and Jesus Christ is the chaos continuing in this chapter. In just 13 pages we have a declaration from Yoru about her future and what she wishes to do with the rest of her life, right? Almost a conclusion to the character in a way, right? A really good conversation between Denji and Asa. We have the plan being put in place. We have the plot twist. We have everything in these 13 pages. Let's get stuck right into it. The chapter begins with essentially Yoru being absolutely mangled as Pochita goes absolutely buck wild on the essentially the war zone, right? Because Japan is essentially a war zone right now. And obviously in the kind of mind plane or whatever, Denji and Asa are having a conversation. And Asa says, I'll return to Yoru and create an opening that you'll only have an instant for. Use that instant to eat me, to eradicate me from existence. And Denji does not want to do that. He doesn't want to kill Asa, but Asa says that it's the only way to defeat Yoru. And she says she's as good as dead already. She is resolved to die in here, and Denji is quite upset about that, as you can understand. But Asa kind of goes on to explain herself. She says, I really believe that Yoru and I had become friends, which I think all of us kind of did. I believe that Yoru was kind of taking a different mindset. She was changing as a person. Maybe Asa's thoughts were bleeding into hers, but it doesn't seem to have went that way at all. She continues by saying, when she thought evil things, I thought I could talk her into being good. It was kind of the relationship that they cooked up. But at this point, she's never going to give me back my body. Besides, if the Death Devil takes over the world, I guess all the humans will die and the world will belong to devils from now on. But I'm sure you'd be okay, Denji. You know, you're a hybrid, and she even says you have a devil-like face, so you'd fit right in, which I think is kind of funny. It's like a kind of backhanded compliment in a way. And Denji's like, but what about you? And Asa's just as simple as this. She just doesn't care what happens to her anymore. She's done with life. She is happy to die if it means kind of saving the world in general, which I think is a really mature way for Asa to look at this whole situation. I think it shows that she actually does care about humanity, that she's not just a self-centered kind of, immature person. She actually does care, and she cares about the people that she, is around, like Denji, for example. And she wants him to be okay and live in society normally, despite a devil revolution potentially taking place. So yeah, she's very much happy to kind of sacrifice herself, and Denji's not happy with that. But Asa kind of goes on this absolute massive diatribe over these next 2 pages, saying that she's accepted it, that even if it all worked out somehow and she could go back to a normal life, she wouldn't even be able to sleep anymore because of the trauma, right? She's done a ton of things that make her want to scream when she remembers them. She killed a bunch of people, and now that she remembers how her dad died, she can never forgive herself. So it's just a lot of trauma that has essentially not made life not worth living, and that is really sad. But, that is just the way that Asa's looking at things right now. And she's really calm about it. It's not like she's having a mental breakdown. She is resolved to this being the case. She goes on to say, I want to go out doing the right thing. You saved me, so I want to die saving you. So please eat me, okay? And Denji is very much like horrified. He does not want to do this. However, we don't get to see the answer because Denji is not given the answer right now. We transition back to the famine devil feeding Pochita blood to essentially wake him back up, as obviously he had taken some serious damage in the battle with Yoru as well. And Yoru is currently severed head, but very quickly regenerates. And she says to the famine devil, stay out of this, weakling, you're sullying my holy war. So Yoru very much still resolved to this thing, this eternal war, and she wants the war to come to the forefront, as she is, of course, the war devil. And she says, you're the weakling, wake up, Chainsaw Man. And as Pochita wakes up and is about to begin the battle once again, Asa returns to her body, kicks Yoru out, and bangs herself in the brain, completely severing her own head. Half of her head is absolutely gone. And as we see this, who I believe is the Katana Man, Katana Devil, pops up, I think. Because, to me, They look like fucking katanas on the top of his head, and he's got blades in his arms, so I think it's the Katana Man. I've not seen him in ages, but I think it's him. And he slices Asa's body in half entirely. And as that happens, he sees the Death Devil and calls her Lil D, so there's obviously a connection there. And the Death Devil essentially motions her arm and says, "Gilly, mince her." And Gilly minces her. It's an absolutely gruesome scene. The lips are desynchronized. The eyes are all over. It's a really fucking nasty panel, if I'm being 100% honest. And as this happens, obviously, it means that Yoru / Asa's body is completely gone. It's going to take ages to regenerate. She'll need blood to regenerate anyway, so she is there for the taking. Right now, she could be eaten and eradicated by Pochita if he wanted to do that, but that's not the case. Fami and the Death Devil are screaming, "Now, Chainsaw Man." The Katana Man, or what I believe is the Katana Man, screams, "Eat her!" But no. Pochita severs all three of their heads. Death Devil, head gone. Fami, head gone. Katana Man, head gone. As Pochita slickly, aurifully looks behind like this. No issue in the world. I will show you very quickly. The coolest panel I've seen in a long time. 3 floating heads as Pochita just looks on with the severely damaged guillotine at his kind of right in front of him. And it looks as if Pochita has chosen to protect Asa at all costs. Maybe because he sees something in Yoru, maybe because he is adhering to Denji's wishes within, his soul and what he wants. Because obviously Denji has said in this chapter and for quite a while that, he cares about Asa, doesn't want her to suffer, doesn't want her to die. He wants Asa around. So I believe Pochita is just adhering to Denji's wishes and is refusing to take out Asa because of that. And that could be a bad thing if Yoru is going to be such a bitch and continue to try this eternal war. But Pochita obviously done this because he believes there is a way to turn this all around. And I really appreciate that. And I can't wait to see what happens in the next chapter, because I do think, that obviously, well, put it this way, the Death Devil, Fami, and the Katana Man, they're all going to regenerate, right? That's obvious. None of them are dead here, obviously. But Pochita could eat them. That's very possible. They're not going to regenerate fast enough for, Pochita could just sweep in there, bang, scrand, done, you're gone, right? Could easily do that, but he won't. They will regenerate. They won't die. And he is going to have to fight against them. I guess this is kind of a declaration from him that he is not on their side. So there's a potential war starting in itself there between Pochita and the rest of the Devils, because obviously, the Devils are potentially going to try and... the Devils want Yoru gone. That obviously involves Asa dying. Pochita does not want that to happen because Denji's wishes say otherwise, and Pochita cares about Denji. So Pochita is essentially, in a weird way, taking the side of the humans, even though the Devils are doing this for the benefit of the humans, if you get what I'm saying. Obviously, that's what the Death Devil had portrayed previously. I think there's still a lot of skepticism about what her actual goals are, and she's probably doing some sort of scheming. She's definitely manipulating in some way, right? There's a plan there. But in terms of right now, I think it's undeniable that Yoru being eradicated would be a good thing for humanity. Yoru being here means an infinite war takes place, right? We don't want that. However, Pochita cares about Denji, and Denji doesn't want to lose Asa, the one person that he's really close to right now in life, pretty much. She's the only person he really has left. He doesn't want to lose her desperately, and therefore Pochita is, rightly or wrongly, going to take that side and is going to allow Yoru to live. It could end up being a nightmare. It could end up sparking an all-out war. But Pochita is making the decision with the best interests of Denji at heart, and I have absolutely nothing but respect for that. But what I want to know is what you think about this chapter down in the comments. Please do let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think is the case with this fight. What direction do you think it's going to go? Do you think we're going in the direction of a war? Do you think Yoru is redeemable? Do you think that this is the right decision by Pochita? Or, well, put it this way. Despite, obviously this is Pochita, right? The question also beckons, is Denji partly in control here? That's another thing to think about, right? So leave all your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to hear what you think about what is going on in this chapter. But with that being said, like I say, thank you so much for being here. If you want to see more Chainsaw Man content and more manga content in general, please do consider subscribing to this channel. It would mean the world to me. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next one for more Chainsaw Man content. Thanks so much. Take care. And bye for now.